Hey YouTube, how you going? Tough subject. What do we do? I know we've been absent again from this channel. Stuff's just been happening that you can't get out of and whatnot. But we got contacted by some really nice people who said, guys, you just got to keep making videos. So I really do want to do it. And one of their videos had a really strong message. It's like, what do you do each day to essentially help the world, help the planet, help the animals, help other people? And it's been weighing on my mind for a couple of weeks now because I've been meaning to do videos. I just literally have not had the time. And then recently in Australia we had what's called the Melbourne Cup, and it's a horse race. I obviously don't support it. And in the lead up to that race, there was some things that came across my Facebook feed about a group that's trying to end horse racing and that kind of thing. Because if you learn the statistics about it and see how many racehorses are actually bred in Australia versus how many actually run and are successful, there's just tens of thousands of them that end up literally on the scrap heap and are just used for, they're just either sold to France and Belgium. Apparently we export horse meat there for human consumption, or they're just ground up into animal feed. And I was watching this video that they put out, and I was just like, man, this is just fucked up. And then like in the race itself, one of the horses snapped its leg, and what do? They put it down. And here's just an industry that are using animals to essentially entertain the masses, but more than that, it's an industry where these horses are just essentially abused in a way for their lives, for their entire lives, because some rich asshole wants to make some money off how fast they can run and that kind of thing. And I mean, I watching this video, it kind of drew parallels for me between a sport that I do watch and have participated in, and that's soccer or football. And every now and then, like, there's these young kids that burst onto the scene and that, and then you might see them for 1 or 2 games and you never hear anything about them again. And it's just because, for whatever reason, they don't have what it takes to be a professional football player. And for these people, you read about them sometimes every now and then, like a couple of years later, they left the sport and they just went and did something else. And we as humans obviously have that option, but these horses that are bred by these people are bred as a commodity. They're bred to make money. So if you can't run fast enough, if you're not good enough as a horse, they ain't going to keep you, because all you're doing is costing you money in terms of feed, vet bills, and taking up space in their paddocks. So they just kind of kill you. That's just how it works. It's fucked up business. And anyway, that's not really the point of this video. The point of the video, I guess, is that watching this stuff, it reminded me, like, as a vegan and someone who's passionate about it, we all have a responsibility to spread the word and do as much as we possibly can to improve the lives of others. That's the lives of both animals and humans. And they can be obviously joined together. If you convince someone to go vegan, they stop eating animals. So that's obviously the best scenario. But there's other things we can do, and I struggle with it a little bit, because you're like, how do you spread this message? How do you connect with the most number of people possible? And obviously a good way of doing that is through YouTube. But I also realize that the only people who are going to watch this video are people who have already made that conscious decision to think about going vegan, or who already are vegan. The video obviously, might get shared to a few non-vegans here and there, but predominantly if you subscribe to a channel that's about vegan food or, animal rights, that kind of thing, you're obviously already halfway there. So it's really like, how do you extend that message? And, I've got that in my own family. There's people who, me and my brother, we're the only vegans in our family. Our dad's vegetarian, which is a great start, and just don't know, where you'll go one day. But how do we keep spreading the message to more and more people? And, I don't think there's a right or wrong answer. You've got to adapt your approach to each individual you speak with. One way that I do it is just by being a positive influence, showing people what I can do physically, because I enjoy sport. I ultra marathons and I enjoy obstacle racing. So that's one way I think that I try and show people that you don't need to doubt a vegan diet. You know, if I can go and run 100 kilometers, how can someone question me and say, oh, where are you getting your protein and all this bullshit? But that's not going to work for everyone, because some people just don't give a shit about sport. So then, you know, you got to find other opportunities. When do you mention things? When do you bring things up? And it's like, you know, you could be sitting at a dinner table and other people are eating non-vegan food, and you've got your little vegan meal there, or big vegan meal if you're like me. And you got to use that as an opportunity. You know, I'm not saying every time you have a meal with someone who's not vegan, you got to be saying like, what are you doing? But like, you know, it comes up in conversation, or, you know, someone's got high blood pressure, or someone's got high cholesterol, or someone died of cancer, or someone did this. And if you know your facts, you can talk about it and say, well, you know, like according to Cadwell Esselstyn, and if you watch Forks Over Knives, you know, 80-90% of heart disease is, you know, completely doesn't need to exist. You know, besides a few people who are born with like some genetic thing or something like that, you don't need to die of a heart attack. You don't need to die of a stroke. So what the fuck are you doing? Like, if you're concerned about dying from a heart attack or a stroke, what are you doing eating like a massive amount of animal protein and a massive amount of saturated fat and that kind of thing? So I don't know, I just wanted to do this video because watching this other video and then kind of seeing this thing about the horses at the Melbourne Cup, it just reminded me, man, like we've got a responsibility to change the world. And that's not to say that, you know, I think I can talk to the entire world as if, you know, like if you were someone who's, you know, if you're someone like Obama or a president or whatever and you speak, obviously media are going to listen and you're going to be published. But that doesn't mean that you as an individual cannot change the world. You can change your world around you, and then it's like a flow-on effect. It's like a ripple in a pond. My brother went vegan, I went vegan. If I convince someone else to go vegan, that's 3 people that have then gone vegan because of my brother. And if then each person continually creates more and more vegans, well then it just gets bigger and bigger and bigger. And you know, in time, that network, all of a sudden 100 people may have become vegan because of one person, my brother. You know, he convinced me, I convinced someone else, that person convinces 3 or 4 other people, those 3 or 4, you know, all goes back to that one person. So one person becoming vegan can have a profound effect on the planet, on the animals, on the health of the world. So that's my message for today. Remember that you can change things, and just to keep trying every single day. That's all we got to do. Thanks for watching.